Here we have the ingredients to make a pudding: whiskey, self-raising flour, salt, sugar, 2 eggs, and a Pyrex dish or oven-proof dish. As you can tell, we will use these ingredients one at a time to make pudding. But be aware, if you are frightened, then these cleaning products are real good, such as to scrub down the place, bleach to disinfect, cream to remove heavy stains, and washing off liquid, whilst disinfectant just to make sure there's no bugs lurking about. As for the scourers, they'll really power away. Now, here's the flour put into the Pyrex dish. Now use as much flour for as much cake you want to make. Then, when you've got the flour, add one ingredient at a time, such as the sugar. Place sugar in to your taste, not too sweet, but just enough so you will be able to realise it's there. That may be 2 teaspoons, whilst then add a touch of salt. Now you have to add a couple of eggs, which you will fold in with the rest of the ingredients to the self-raising flour. When I mean fold in, some people prefer not to have the yolk all together with the rest, but either way, we'll mix these in, and if you got a blender, that'll make it easier for you. In this case, use a spoon and a bowl and stir, 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 and keep on stirring. It will be hard at first, but you'll soon get the knack of it. You have to keep stirring till all the flour disappears and all the ingredients are gone. So basically, it just looks like dough or a cake mix. Now, you'll add another ingredient that makes it special, and that is the whiskey. You may have a choice if you've got brandy or wine or rum, any type of liquor to add to it, just to give it some taste. Now, thinking of mixing this, you have to realise I'm going to add a few raisins just out of imagination, so when you do eat it, there's something different. You could add cherries, so it's up to you. Now consider, if the consistency of the mix isn't right, add a bit more flour and mix that in till you get the type of gel feeling to it, or as if like glue. It will stick to the spoon and start to have shape and form, so that's when you're about ready. I'm going to drop it in the oven after that, but don't forget, you will have to have scoured and scrubbed to make your place neat. And if you don't believe me, take a look at this. Think about it, you got a cooker a bit dusty, dirty and that. Well, I'm going to scrub it with a scrubber and some cream, and you'll see how clean it becomes. Now you realise you have to rub this with your hand to get rid of whatever abrasions there are. And that's the end result. You see, you get an idea? It does work. Just takes a bit of time and muscle. So, as I said, a scourer or Ajax or Brillo pad. Now, when you put the cake or pudding into the oven, probably gas mark 8, then you heat it up for about 30 minutes or 25, depending on your taste, how soft you want it or hard you want it or crunchy. And it will bake well and start to rise. If it rises, you know it's working. When it's rising, you may look at it, but you don't want to lose too much heat out of the oven. But basically, you will need to start working out if it's cooking properly. One way to do this is to start poking it with a knife. And if the knife goes through easily, you know it's cooking. If it comes back out with dough on it, it's not ready to be eaten. So continue to poke around, especially in the deep parts, to find out where it's cooked or not. Once cooked, you can cut around the edges, and loosen it up, and then put it on a dish to cool. This is the end product, cooked pudding. It's been baked for about half an hour to 25 minutes. Now, just at the end of baking, you could sprinkle a touch of sugar on top just to give it a little glaze. Just something extra, it's up to you. Anyway, gotta make some custard to go with this pudding. And as you know, custard comes in many forms, but this is just the instant one where you add hot boiling water to. Put in a bowl the custard, then measure out how much you want. Don't have to use the whole pack. Get a fork to whisk it with, and then add some boiling hot water. Now you just want probably twice as much water as the custard. It's just to thicken it and make it turn into that creamy custard. You may have to add more water or less, or add more custard if you don't get the consistency right. Just keep blending it. Once whipped, the cake most likely would have cooled down by now, and you can cut a piece. As you can see, this will probably go 4 ways. When you cut a piece, you'll notice when you look inside, you can see a texture what you may like, and thus drop the cake in the custard cream, the custard, and so then you have your pudding. Voila, bon appetit. Hope you taste the whiskey, taste the custard, taste the bacon.